there is going to be the perfect ear model. That's you. Everything else sucks, but this is pretty great. I was going to say ear hole model, but I thought that would be really weird. So I said ear lobe. I didn't know what was going to happen.
I didn't know where I was going with that. It was funny.
My nose is running. Excuse me for wiping my swipes. Looking at nails just opened me up to a world of happy. I'm so happy right now.
Before you tell me about your nails.
And before I do, I would just say I sincerely believe that nails are some of the greatest parts of my body.
What about eyeballs, man?
Eyeballs are good.
What about the tongue?
It's strong muscle.
Ears. I have great ones.
The ear or the hearing?
I think you can
hearing is amazing.
I think you can make that argument. Hearing is amazing. Yes, it is. I think you can make that argument about lots of things. I mean, but you're right. Indispensable.
I'm not saying.
I think maybe what I would say is
one of the best
people
parts
don't realize how much your hands would suck if you didn't have fingernails.
That's it. But for me, I have hurt myself in the fingertip region so much that fingernails have elevated themselves to be one of my most precious body parts.
You could just wear
not the most.
You could wear gloves or like thimbles on all fingers.
Like I said, last night I was chasing the kids around the playground playing hide and seek, and it's a sand playground, but then there's concrete.
The kids hide under the sand?
And they bury themselves by the time I count to 30.
They just bury their heads. They think they're hidden.
Yeah, they're stupid.
That's what you're teaching your kids.
All right, so no, Lincoln's running around, and I'm going all out. And every other parent's just sitting down on their phone. I'm like, I am a great dad.
Yeah, I'm playing hide and seek.
And then he's making a beeline for the fence, and then I go from the sand to the concrete. And when I go to the concrete, my legs split apart because he tried to change direction. He was barefoot.
You're supposed to pick a direction.
I had on shoes.
You don't know.
I picked two directions.
Two directions.
And I slid.
Oh my gosh!
And this foot goes left.
What did you have on your feet?
I had on Vans with no socks, and my feet were sweaty inside the shoes, and then the shoes were slipping on the sand. And then eventually the right leg joins the left, and I go totally on my side, and bam! I jam my thumb into the fence, and I could feel it bend my thumbnail, not out, but in. And it bent it in over and totally squashed the end of my thumb. And you can see where the bruise is. Now, it hurts like a devil in there. It's like there is a devil in there biting.
Confounded.
And peeing on it. And, but that's nothing compared to this. Yeah. I mean, this right here, Mythical Beast.
You nearly lost your thumbnail, your nail.
I nearly lost my ring finger tip.
I was there for that.
And this had to have been a month ago.
Yeah, at least.
We were on a 4-wheel drive adventure. And the reason why you haven't noticed this is because ever since it happened, the whole nail, well, I'll tell you what happened. We were on a 4-wheel driving adventure. We got our truck over something. Nick couldn't get his truck over because of the anatomy of his truck. His truck's great. It's not, no offense to his truck. It's just different anatomy. And we had to put in a couple of huge rocks to get his wheel over. And I grab a rock. It's like this big because I'm the strongest guy in the group. I'll get the big rock. Okay. So I reach down, I grab the rock, and instead of picking it up, because I'm not stupid, I'm just going to roll it around. Well, I roll it around into another rock, and it totally takes this finger and it nearly off. And I look down, and I expected to not see the fingertip. And the whole side of the nail was intact. The meat to the left side of the nail was totally ripped off.
The meat.
But if there wasn't a nail there, the entire fingertip meat would be gone. It would just be a bloody, bony nub.
You would have lost all your meat long before now if you didn't have fingernails.
I would have vomited. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean throughout your life.
I did feel sick though, and I looked down at it and I said, "Come hither, I need Band-Aid."
Yeah, I had to use the first aid kit for the first time ever.
That's why it's called first aid.
And then since then I've used it like 4 or 5 times,
really?
Only on you. No, my kids haven't needed it. No one else has needed it except you.
And then what you said was, "That nail's gonna come off. And if it don't come off, It's gonna be blue for a long time. Well, you're right about B. That thing's been blue for
A long time.
over a month, and the reason why you haven't noticed is because you're not perceptive. Just kidding. The reason why I haven't noticed is because I've been painting it. I've been painting my fingernail flesh colored. And if you look back at episodes, you can probably see that it was flesh colored. And then now it started to get better.
It was very much just like beige. It was very obvious if you looked at it. It did not match the other ones, but it would look better than.
Christy had like a flesh color. I don't know why, but so I painted it with that. But if you want to see it in all its glory, you can look at the I'm on Vacation music video. In the ice cream sandwich factory, there's a close-up of me making the ice cream sandwich. And Ben's getting the close-up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, put that nasty finger up there." And I didn't have the fingernail polish on it, and so it makes that shot. I thought we'd see comments. What's wrong with your nail? No one said anything. But if you look at that, post that screenshot online, and I'll give you a mental reward.
Wow, that's quite a promise. Do you like when
I'll retweet you
when your wife paints her fingernails, or do you care about that? Does your wife grow her fingernails out?
No. Do I like it? Obviously, I haven't thought about it because I'm thinking this long about it now. I like it if it's the right color.
I like it.
I like the right color.
Does she paint her nails?
I like a subtle color.
Does she paint her nails?
Sure.
Like all the time her nails are painted?
Sometimes. And I like a nail that doesn't draw too much attention to itself.
So none of the ones that we just looked at?
No, of course not. I don't like a bright, gaudy nail. I like a tasteful tapioca tone nail.
Is that why she has flesh colored?
Yeah.
Hey baby, go flesh colored tonight.
I want you to flesh. I like that. Oh, look, she fleshed her nail. She fleshed her nail for me.
My wife is always like, her fingernails are always short, but they'll grow for like a week without her biting them, and she'll be like, "You like my nails?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because I know I'm supposed to say yeah to that kind of thing.
But when you say it like that, I can kind of tell what you're thinking.
But I'm like, they don't look any different. She's like, "They're so long. You can't tell they're so long."
Does she paint them?
No.
Do you like it when she paints them?
Sometimes I do.
Do you like it?
Well, the reason I'm asking you because you have like very specific opinions about everything, including like you only let your wife wear fruit scented perfumes. I mean, there's a lot of little things like that.
There's one thing that's true about that. One is I have a lot of opinions, and that is one of them. But the thing that's not true is the word let. ain't no part of me interacting with my wife that's let my wife do anything.
Okay, all right.
Christy does what she wants. Let's make sure we get that
But
right.
if she doesn't wear
I prefer
if she wears
she wear fruity, smelly stuff, not...
Because it gives you a headache if it's not fruity?
It gives me the headache, man. And really bright nails give me a headache, too. So,
Well, we'll close with this.
it's not tasteful.
You may have seen this, and it's funny how quickly these things recover, but I actually get psoriasis under my nails, okay? Now, what this causes to happen is...
You didn't have to share that.
I have to, because when else am I going to talk about this? What ends up happening is I'll have all of a sudden my pinky nail will be like half of it will be white. You know how the part that's disconnected...
Kind of like that.
The part that's disconnected from the flesh underneath that's not attached is white.
That's what happens.
And so what happens is there... I always thought that I had just damaged my nail. And then I was at a dermatologist, and he was like, "Oh, you got some psoriasis under your fingernails." I was like, "What?" He says, "Yeah, that's why it's detached." He said, "It'll come and go." And it does. Right now, I don't have any. But just
Good for you.
3 weeks ago, half of this was white. And when that starts happening, I think, uh-oh, my fingernail's going to come off. But they never do. They're always still there.
Oh, remember what happened to Mike? Mike was working on, he's production designer on I'm a Techspert. And he was drilling, this is going to be awesome. He was drilling into the car set, and he drilled right down his fingernail. Like, that's a form of torture.
And he lost it completely. Oh, gosh.
The drill bit went under the fingernail.
Oh, okay.
The drill bit went under the fingernail.
I mean, that's a form of torture. And it's a bad form of torture.
And you know what? That would have been horrible because I personally believe that the fingernails are one of the most important body parts.
Of the body.
And if you lose that, you've lost your soul.